Dear viewers, I'm Quill Quickcode and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. It is the day before the festival, and once again I am helping retrieve supplies from the art room. While she tries to make sense of the scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles are arranged on the shelves in a most unorganized fashion. Some look like they have been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smells of paint, turpentine, and fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostril to form that unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her note, comparing them to markings on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look at the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eye level stays below the shelf no matter what she does. Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at a toy store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels during the fraction of a second she can see them and catch what she can. It's no surprise that she fails miserably and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why lending a hand here would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height. You are not! She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding, just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. With a grunting she turns her back to me. So I begin scrounging around the top shelf for paint, while below, Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboard. I shake my head a little, after double-checking to ensure that she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on a desk like a treasure hunter's spoils, do I realize that it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. She might not like to be told that she can't do something. Like jump. There's that right click. That's the first tradition, now we just have to wait for me to yawn. But Emmy herself seems to have forgotten all about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart, as she chatters away happily while we pick up the rest of the items and then make our way back to Reen. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories. Reen is really stressed about getting her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier. Is she going to make it? No idea. It looks good to me, but with Reen, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning, lying in front of the dorm in fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. Now she's painting again like crazy. Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Amy giggles at that, as well as my likely too obvious awkwardness. I don't mind. She's just a little weird sometimes. On that, I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Reen's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Shizune do, with them working as a single entity sometimes. It's hard to say where one begins and the other ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Reen are. And Reen is the most different of them all. Different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again, as if it encompasses Reen's personality by itself. But really, it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word. She's just weird. You know, earlier, she just spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes. She giggles again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is. All that time. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over even more of the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of pink, red, and orange. Weird, imaginary things populating the spaces between them. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work concisely and comprehensively, so I settled... Stop with the right click. Stop with the right click. So I settled myself on a nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems that the area around the wall becomes untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Reen herself is in the center of this chaos, standing there looking very cozy as if she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs which sport a dying spectrum of war paintings, similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Reen ahead of me and gleefully jumps in front of her. I'm back! That was fast. Did you run in the corridors again? Esau helped me. Emmy points victoriously at me. Reen turns around, following Emmy's finger with her eyes, looking at my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant, glazed stare that's focused slightly off me, and movements like in a slow-motion movie. Hello, Esau. Thank you for the help. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you've made progress. Looking good, as far as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course. Not for you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance. Their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of an unspecified disease. It's a deep and mysterious law of the universe. Unless they are blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's going to fall asleep. There is a boy. At the art club, you see. Blind boy. So he doesn't see. You already told me. I glance sideways at Emmy, and she glances back in a way that tells me she has heard this one before, too. Neither of us says anything to Reen, though, so she continues her monotone soliloquy like an unfunny stand-up comedian. You should become an artist. No bad luck. Guaranteed. Don't you think that would be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work, and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize, but can't remember the name of. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint cans around, trying to bring some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint. Which one's Prussian blue? She is staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with Prussian blue paint in it. Jeez, Reen, you're not helping at all. I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Or what Prussia even is. The name sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't place it. While none of the blues look more Prussian than the others, the small print on the labels is legible enough to determine that none say anything about the contents being Prussian. There is no Prussian blue here. We need to go get more then. I opened my mouth to say that actually we're not both needed for such a simple task, like finding another pot of Prussian blue, but Emmy's already grabbed my arm and started dragging me off. I waved to Reen, who doesn't seem to have noticed that the two of us are even leaving. Well, she'll notice when she goes for her Prussian blue and finds out it's still not there. Maybe. Probably not, actually. While I'm busy thinking of how weird Reen is, Emmy's been dragging me back to the art classroom. I feel myself starting to run out of breath. What's the rush? Huh? Emmy's giving me an appraising look, as if she's trying to figure something out. It's just that you seem to be in a hurry. I'm not sure I can keep up. Comprehension dawns on her face. You're not out of breath, are you? There's almost an accusing playfulness to her tone. I'm tempted to deny it, but then I realize that I've been breathing heavy since we stopped. Guess it's kind of obvious. A little. Not everybody can be in shape, you know. Takes all kinds, right? Emmy frowns. It's not a particularly good frown. That is, I should get in shape? Not that I hadn't already decided to try for that. After that flutter on the track, I figure there's a real need to get in some sort of running habit. I was, after all, feeling pretty good until I had my false alarm. Well, actually I wasn't. But it was fun. Meanwhile, my comment seems to have helped Emmy come to some sort of a decision. Well, that's it then. She gives me a serious look. You're joining me. I beg your pardon? In the mornings. You and I are now running partners. I've got a routine all planned out. In fact, she produces a crumpled sheet of paper. I've got it right here with me. I take the sheet of paper and give it a once-over. Times, dates, and laps, all laid out. A slow increase from just a few laps a day to... My God, does she expect to have me running marathons? And where did she find the time to get all this together? And how long has she been planning this anyway? You've been planning this? A little. But it's really the nurse's idea. He told me to keep an eye on you, to make sure you exercise like he told you to. A vast conspiracy. Maybe Kenji's onto something here. He is not. This seems a bit much for just keeping an eye on me. Well, to be honest, I've been trying to find a running partner in the mornings for a while now. My god, Kenji, if only you could see the scheme unfolding! What do you need a partner for anyway? It's easier to keep up a workout if you're not the only one doing it. Isn't that obvious? You're less likely to quit if someone else is counting on you to be there, right? I see. And this won't only keep you running, but it'll make sure that I keep running as well. Meaning that I'll be obeying the nurse. And I'll be keeping an eye on you just like he asked. You caught on quick, Hisao. And if I refuse? I have no intention of refusing, of course. I've got to at least put up a token resistance to such a masterfully executed plan. Well, if you refused, I'd have to pout. And you'd have to live with being the guy who made Emi Ibarazaki pout. You don't want that on your conscience, do you? As if to demonstrate, Emi begins pouting. It is the most adorable, heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'll do it. Just don't do that. I feel like I just hit a puppy. So it's settled, right? You're going to be my running partner? Follow the workout? And the dietary plan? Dietary plan? Yeah, the dietary plan. You've got to eat healthy if you're going to get in shape, you know. I examined the workout routine closely. I don't see a dietary plan on here. Oh, right. I forgot to give that to you. A numbered crumpled sheet of paper is produced and handed over. It's somewhat less detailed. I had the nurse help me come up with it. The amount of dedication that the nurse has to keeping me in good health is pretty overwhelming. I don't know many school nurses who would get one of their students to spy on me, much less help come up with a dietary plan. Then again, I guess I'm not in a normal school. And maybe that's not such a bad thing. Then again, this dietary plan seems to cut out just about everything that'll be offered at the festival tomorrow. So when does our running start? After the festival. Right after? What if I've had something to eat there? I could get a stomachache, you know. I meant the day after the festival. I knew that. Wasn't there something we were supposed to be doing? Oh, I guess we should get that paint for Reem, huh? Oh no, it slipped my mind. By the time we get the paint and get back to the mural, Reem's already wandered off. Of course she has. Oh well. Emmy and I both decide to part ways there, leaving the paint on the ground. Reen'll find it, whenever she comes back anyway. Maybe. Festival's tomorrow. I'm actually a little excited for it. At the same time, the week's left me feeling pretty tired, so I read a little and then go to bed. And so the day finally came. The day of the festival. The next day, I wake up feeling a little lightheaded. It's almost noon already. Sleeping late is fine, since it's a Sunday and there are no classes. Not just a Sunday, though, but the festival as well. From my window, I can already see some people at the soba booth slinging noodles onto plates for people with a craving for low-quality food. I throw back a handful of my morning meds and ponder how to spend the day. There will be a few exams in the coming week, but I don't consider those as ominous as others, so I'm not as worried about them as I probably should be. With no urgent obligations regarding education, I should be free to spend the day at the festival as I like. Finishing my morning routine, I exit into the hallway, intending to go out and find something to eat. Passing by his door, I decide to see what Kenji's up to today out of impulse. Curious if he has any plans, since everyone is doing something. Then again, I can picture him having built a soundproof shelter in his room. Or possibly something like a fort, complete with a no girls allowed sign. And with the girls crossed out and body crudely scrawled underneath it. Knocking on his door, which is luckily devoid of any kind of sign, I hear again the unsettling clicking of at least 10 locks being pulled back. The door opens up a crack. Who is it? You're supposed to ask that before you open the door. Oh, it's you! Damn, it's early. It's not really that early. What is it, man? Nothing. I was just gonna ask what you're gonna do today. Half the school is out there already. Out where? Why? What? What's that? Is today special? Why are they there? Who are? I can hear them. It's loud. Don't tell me. Has the invasion began? He suddenly looks more alarmed. What day is it, man? Yeah, I guess you can't see the big wooden booths outside and people selling stuff. What the hell are you talking about? I have my curtains closed at all times to thwart the snipers. It's the festival. You know that, right? Oh shit! That's today? Damn it! Can't believe I forgot. I don't have my fort finished yet. This is bad. This is gonna be a very bad day. I told you. It's good you told me this, man. It's gonna be a bad day. Why? Oh man, they're gonna be everywhere. The people outside my window, socializing. Kenji rubs his temples nervously, suddenly looking very ill. It's gonna be loud as hell. Damn, I was going to go out today, but now it's ruined. Everything is ruined. This is awful. This sucks. What the hell? This really sucks. I can't go anywhere now. There's nowhere to run. Kenji seems nervous. You could even say he's majorly freaking out. Can't believe this. So that's what today was. Damn, and I couldn't even prepare for it. Couldn't even brace myself. Now it's here, I can't do anything. You should have told me this earlier, dude. I mean, at least I know, but I could have known earlier. Imagine what I could have accomplished. Sorry, I thought you knew. So, I guess you're not going to do anything today? The weather is even good. Yesterday was really windy, so I thought today would be cold. It's not, though. So there's no reason to just stay inside. Yeah, you should check the festival out. Kenji groans and covers his face with his hands. No, I can't do it. They'll eat me alive out there, I know it. That has to be a joke, but he said it with such a straight face. Relatively straight. What are you going to do? We should hang out in here. You can help me build my fort. We might still make it if we work together. I wonder... I'm kind of hungry, but I made this deal that I tried to take better care of myself. Be healthier, you know? Don't know if I should steer clear of the takoyaki or head straight in. Deal? Sounds ominous. So what are you getting in return? Nothing, I guess? It's not that kind of a deal. You know Emmy from our year? We kind of agreed to watch each other's backs and... Ah! The shrill scream and the expression of abject terror in Kenji's face chill my blood. It's as if I told a Catholic priest I sold my soul to the devil. Her! You sold your soul to the devil and didn't get anything in return? What the hell is wrong with you, man? Do you know who you were dealing with?
She's a public health danger. Do you know how many people she sends to the hospital monthly with her carefully placed flying tackles? She's one of them, a key player in the vast conspiracy that aims for the complete submission of everything that is manly. Can't believe what I'm hearing. I trusted in your judgment, man. I thought we were brothers. You have to call it off before it's too late. This festival, too, it's just one of their ploys.
He fingers his scarf nervously, faster and faster, like he is trying to start a fire, and then slowly begins to calm once the panic attack finishes running its course.
I'm gonna have to find some place to hide in, a safe haven, and then knock the lights out of myself so I don't have to experience this horrible day. I have the perfect thing for that. I must prepare now. Don't go to the festival.
Okay.
Later, dude.
The door slowly closes with a low creak, and I don't know how to feel about what Kenji just said. It's kind of unsettling, and now I start to feel doubtful myself. Should I bother going? Absolutely. I've got a book I've been meaning to read. Something about an underground postal system that may or may not exist. It's short, too. I could have finished it in a day. But would that be a good way to spend my time? Well, yeah, it definitely would be. But I suppose that it would probably be a better idea to head outside. See the festival. Try to integrate with all the other sideshow acts. Honestly, I should at least make an attempt to keep up the somewhat friendly personality I've had the past week. Maybe get something to eat, my stomach suggests. It's almost lunchtime. I could at least grab something from one of the stalls outside. I'm soon outside, surrounded by various students and people who may or may not be their parents. Every so often I catch a glimpse of someone who clearly just came up from town for the promise of a festival. They're easy to spot. The ones who can't stop staring, and behind their eyes you can tell they're thinking, now what's wrong with this one? I almost want to yell at them. But at the same time, can I deny that I've been doing the same thing all week? A wave of something like disgust leaps over me. Guilt from my own narrow-mindedness. I push the thoughts aside, concentrating on the pangs of hunger that burn my guts like a wildfire. The scent of something fried leads me to the promised land, where I can get some lunch. I'm just getting my order when a loud voice interrupts me.
Hey! Hey! What the hell are you doing?
Having lunch.
Breakfast?
You mean you just got up? Suddenly sleeping all morning feels like a crime. No, I meant lunch. Honest. She's not buying it. Brunch?
That's not a healthy breakfast at all.
She snatches my food out of my hand and glares at me. Okay. Emmy? I'm going to be very polite here, because I understand that this comes from a place of concern. But in that concern, you have become impulsive, and you have crossed a line. Give me back my food! What the hell is this girl doing? Hey, that's my breakfast!
What happened to it being your lunch?
That's my... whatever, it's my food! Emmy places her hands on her hips and begins lecturing me.
Did you really forget your dietary plan already? You need to be more conscious of your health, Hisao. What about your heart?
My heart's fine the way it is, mostly. All I get in response is a roll of the eyes.
I doubt that. You wouldn't be here if that was the case, would you?
The girl's got a point, of course. But I'm not about to concede it. It's not that bad of a heart. Certainly it can handle a little grease now and again. Yeah, sure. and it handled a little running just fine too. Emmy seems unconvinced. Not surprising, as I haven't even managed to convince myself. Maybe, but not if you're sleeping the day away all the time. A devious look suddenly crosses her face. Of course, if you'd been following a routine from the beginning, you wouldn't be in this situation. Hey, I've had a pretty eventful week, you know. Give me back my food, Emmy. For example, I almost died, and there was a lot of meeting people, and then I was on a roof for a while. Which is no excuse for slacking off, you know. A little near-death experience is no excuse for skipping basic exercise. Like running in the mornings. She nods, as if something important has just been decided. So it's settled then. You've seen the error of your ways and are willing to adhere to my routine, right? I'll see you bright and early in the morning. We'll be running buddies. You know, you'd already convinced me yesterday that this was a good idea. You don't need to convince me again. Give me back my food. Not that I did a good job of being convinced. She's right about eating healthy after all, and here I am ordering up something grossly unhealthy. But delicious! There are more important things than deliciousness, aren't there? Like staying alive? If Emmy weren't here browbeating me for my poor decisions, I'd probably... Hey, wait a second. A sudden question springs to mind. Hey, why the hell have you taken such an interest in my well-being? Emmy shrugs and grins at me. You're the new guy. I figure you don't have any friends yet, right? Besides, I've caused you trouble all week, right? I owe you for not getting angry. And I told the nurse I would anyway. Uh-huh. Crazy little running girl wants to make me healthy. Well, I suppose there are worse fates. Okay, that sounds fine. Thanks for your concern. Now give me back my food. Tomorrow morning, then? I figure that ends the conversation, so I turn to leave. Ah, there's the right click. Not so fast. I feel a hand on my collar, and in a second I've been yanked backwards. Hey, no need to be so rough. What do you want now? Emmy looks almost wounded by my annoyed question. Thought you could use the company. Her eyes narrow. Besides, you were just going to try sneaking some more of that fried crap, weren't you? Well, I wasn't going to, but now that she mentions it, that would have been a really good idea. I was not. Another glare. Okay, maybe I was going to get a little. The glare continues. Okay, a lot. Jesus, I'm a danger to myself and others, aren't I? I get done agreeing that I need to be healthier, and then immediately start considering the next unhealthy habit that comes my way. I knew it. You can't be trusted. Now I definitely have to stick with you. This whole situation feels silly. I can only imagine what passerby think of the sight of me being lectured by a tiny girl half my size. Passers-by. That's what I missed. Maybe I should just give up for now. Fine. Do what you like. I sigh. Might as well make the best of this. What do you want to do? Emmy thinks for a minute. Well, I promised Reen I'd stop by her mural. So let's do that. I confess I'm slightly curious as to how her mural turned out myself. So again, I consider there are worse fates. I give a nod of assent and find myself almost dragged bodily through the crowd as Emmy races to our destination. festival day. I'm sure it's going to be a very interesting mural indeed. And it looks like extrovert Emmy has now adopted my character as her own. Surely that can only bode well. And I will see you all on the next one.